Hey,
We're live. Sumit,
we are
happy
live
Saturday, buddy.
finally.
How are you
Happy
doing?
Saturday. Doing well. How are you, Rob?
I'm great, man. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. How are things up there in Massachusetts?
It's sunny. It's really sunny out there. After the
Hmm.
session, I might go for a good walk.
Yeah,
It's rarely such climate out here on the
awesome.
eastern coast.
Well, welcome everybody. We're going to take just a second for people to tune in and join us. But I've heard that the Northeast, people argue, is the area you're in, the Boston area, is one of the most beautiful places for fall in America. Are the color and the leaves starting to change yet?
Yes, they have. I have actually planned a trip. I might
Hmm.
be going somewhere around New Hampshire or Vermont very soon and enjoy those fall colors. It's gonna be amazing. I'm always
Awesome.
excited about this particular time of the year because it's
Hmm.
so colorful everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. The trees here are just starting to change the colors a little bit.
Mhm.
So, but everyone, welcome again. I'm Rob with Chai and Coaching. We've got Sumit here, who recently graduated from Northeastern
Hey
University
guys.
and is working full time. You'll be meeting him in just a minute. But go ahead in the chat. We want to know who you guys are. There's a chat feature if you guys are tuning in. So in the chat, tell us who you are, where you're watching from, what kind of, if you're a student or working. Um, We'd love to see what's going on. So, yeah, welcome everybody. It's going to be a fun little party today. Thanks for hanging out on a Saturday. So please introduce yourselves. We'd love to see which of our friends are tuning in. I know Sumit has his crew cheering him on, which is really exciting. And today we're going to talk about landing your dream job. 2020 has been killer and tough and
Yeah.
discouraging and punching us in the face for everyone who's trying to get jobs. I've had so many friends lose jobs and lose job offers, and we're going to help you guys out.
That's
Sumit's got an
correct.
amazing story. So yeah, if you guys are from Northeastern University, give a little shout out. What's your guys' mascot?
It's husky. It's a
The
husky.
Huskies. Okay. Any other Huskies in the house? Let us know. Um, Sumit, I'm really excited. Sumit actually reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, "Hey, Rob, I've had some crazy stories, some crazy journeys, and he figured some great stuff out, and he wants to share with you guys, which I love because Chai and Coaching is all about helping you guys succeed in your cross-cultural journeys, and especially these tough things. And learning from each other's stories is one of the best ways we can help each other out. So, Sumit, go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy. Tell us where you're from, what brought you
Sure.
to America, and what you're doing now."
Firstly, I would say it's a pleasure to be over here because when I landed over here in United States, I followed you a lot. I used to check your videos for not just for career advice or something, even some information which is trending in the market. Anything related to international students, I used to follow them a lot. So
Mhm.
being here with you at this particular moment, it is really a pleasure, I would say. So, hey guys who don't know me, I'm Sumit. I did my graduation from Northeastern University. Uh, I'm from the information system branch, and it has been an amazing journey to finally land a job. And I could see many of my friends over there
Mhm.
in comments, and it's really exciting to have you all here. And so today, I would be sharing about my journey, how I landed the job, and not exactly how I landed my job, but how I landed all those interviews and how I networked with people and all those amazing stuffs and kind of few hacks which you would love to hear about, I think, and how I really went along with that. So
Awesome.
Rob's
Well,
gonna ask me certain of number of questions, and that's how we're gonna do it.
yeah. And so we're going to basically tell Sumit's 2020 story, kind of walk month by month and give a little lesson for each one for you guys. At the end, we're going to have Q&A. So stick around for the very end. We're going to do a live Q&A. We're going to pull them from the chat. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sumit's contact info is also in the video description. So if you guys open that up, there's his LinkedIn, his Instagram. You guys can connect and follow him there as well.
Sure.
Um, and yeah, you guys can dialogue and share this fun stuff on LinkedIn as well. Well, let's get this party started. We got 127 people on this Saturday. This is amazing. I love it.
Oh wow.
Thanks for everyone who's introduced themselves. And so 2020 is the year that none of us expected. But let's go back to the very beginning. And Sumit, tell us how it all started.
Oh God. Okay. Uh, it seemed very double till at the month of Jan. Didn't really expected what's coming down after 2 3 months, and I was enjoying my vacation, a short vacation back in India in the month of December and Jan. I returned in the month of Jan, but I was enjoying back there, and I had just started with my application and prep for my job because I was graduating in the month of May. So it was very normal. Like I knew that I had this much amount of time, and I had all my prep material set up. I had already starting prep in India. Back in India, I had recently just started to apply for jobs, so it was a start, and I was taking step by step. Like obviously I'm a developer, so software developing jobs are quite like to get into software developing job, it's usually very hectic. You need to do a lot and lot of programming practice. So I was going just like any other grad student. I was going through a lot many YouTube videos and just checking how should I begin at the very initial stage. Um, Telling the crowd over here, I'm not any pro programmer or a coder. I'm just an average developer because that's how I have always been. But I'm good at learning, so I I used to read a lot and keep myself growing. So that was the month of Jan. I had just started.
Yeah, and usually that last semester is when it gets really serious for students here to really find that job if they
Yes.
haven't yet. That last semester, it's full mode, full-time job search, and so that's when that pressure kind of goes, is that very last semester. So you get that ball rolling, and then
Mhm.
the semester starts. And tell us about what happened in February.
Okay, so in the month of Feb, I think I had got serious about at that point. Like I knew that okay, now it's the time to roll because I can't really waste my time. I'm gonna graduate in May, so I have to start going about things, plan my things, how I'm gonna approach this particular job or the way I apply for jobs. So I started getting very serious about my approach, and finally in the month of Feb landed my very first interview. It was a startup based in Cali, and I was really excited about it. And I gave this first interview. It was just a start. I knew that I'm not really gonna crack it or gonna do well, but I had the initial phone call, and later I just proceed with the, I would say, the first coding round. I managed to crack that coding round. Then I proceed to the next one, but I didn't. I wasn't able to clear it because I knew that I am not fully prepared with my coding skills. There is a lot and lot of room for improvement. So yeah, so that was the month of Feb. I just gave a single interview. I believe that as compared to other people's of my batch, I was pretty much lagging behind because
Hmm.
people at in the month of Feb they were like giving 4 interviews, 5 interviews. I also have friends who had already landed a job in the month of Feb, so it was like that tension was actually building up on you, and
Hmm.
you
You're
knew
feeling
that
that
you
pressure.
exactly, and that pressure made me realize that okay, you need to do some or take some extra efforts over here, and that that's how things
Hmm.
were in the month of Feb.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, most international students find the job is a struggle. I have friends that will fill out 500, 800, over 1,000 job applications online, maybe only get a couple of callbacks, maybe only get a couple of interviews. At most, the handful of interviews they get is a rejection, just kind of like what happened in February with Sumit. And so that is the norm because most people kind of go about the wrong way, the wrong approach to finding jobs in America. So we're going to talk about some of those shifts in a little bit of better ways, better approaches, and why applying online is actually the worst way to get a job in America for international students. So February is a bit of a letdown, and then
Mhm.
things didn't get much better, right?
Yeah, they could have been better because I believe that I used to apply daily, I think so, to 10 or 15 jobs, like good
Mm,
applications, not just applying blindly. So while doing that, I think just landing one particular interview, I knew that I was lagging something big. I knew that uh, I don't know what was wrong, whether it was my resume, my cover, or all those things, but I believe that I was seriously lagging something in me or in my profile. So that's when I realized, okay, I need to talk to someone. So I used to talk to my career advisor, Laura Mayer. She is from Northeastern. So I used to I like sat with her a couple of times to understand if I'm lagging something in my resume or in my cover letter. she obviously she gave me few tips, and I believe that I was all set. So it was really great. And then the month of March.
We had the pandemic. And honestly, I don't think the pandemic could have come at a worse time for international students because for most of you guys, it was around spring break, which is where that last semester starts getting really busy. Midterms, projects, gearing up for finals. Most students are starting to feel desperate and pressure for the jobs. And then everything shuts down, classes go online, the economy tanks. Like it was nuts and crazy and hard for all the international students here. Sumit, what was it like for you back in March when all that started to happen?
I think in the month of March, it wasn't really affecting the job market at that point. And
Hmm.
I was very much focused on my curriculum because it was my final semester. I had subjects to clear out and credits
Hmm.
to and get good grades as well. So I was like, I had my mind divided in a few things. It was my curriculum, my job hunt, and few other things as well. So it was like very, I would say, hectic to manage at that point. So April was the point, I believe, when we had started to see in news about people getting laid off and all those things. So it was a panic moment. Like you could see at several places, like people are panicking very easily, and big companies we would hear about laying off more than 1,000 employees. So it was starting to hit there. It was starting to hit there, and we all knew, like, when such thing happens, international students would be first one who would suffer.
Hmm.
we I always feel like we are always under the axe because of certain rules or regulations. So already we have very less opportunities, and then all these things, when they, I would say, get like when they hit, then it's gonna be at some point we have to suffer. So it was really hard at that point, the month of March and April. I realized that everyone around me, the environment has completely changed. I no more hear about people landing any recent jobs in my connection on LinkedIn. I do have a very good connection on LinkedIn, so I was checking LinkedIn, and I would see like hardly anyone is landing any job. So what's
Hmm.
happening? Then you get to see in news about big companies layoffing like more than thousands of employees. So it was really tough. It was a tough period. And this was a time in the month of March, I believe,
Hmm.
and also in the month of April. I just gave like two interviews. That's it. So it was like you have nothing. And it was like the panic situation for all of us. And it wasn't just me, all my roommates, my friends, hardly
Hmm.
anyone was getting an interview call. It was getting really tough for us.
Yeah. So many of my friends were in interviews that got frozen, or they had job offers that got taken away, or people had started full times that got, you know, fired. And so it was not good, not good at all. Anything else you want to cover about the pandemic season before we jump ahead to the month and kind of your big shift in strategy?
Well, in the month of April, I was actually interviewing. Yeah, actually, in the month of April, I was just interviewing from one organization, and it was going really good, I would say, at that point. So I was very positive about it. And I'm going to talk about that in my later header points. So I would continue about this particular story later.
All right. Well, things got bad in the pandemic, and the people that have done okay in the pandemic are the people that have pivoted and shifted, whether it's job seekers, companies, organizations, industries, governments, whoever has been able to shift and pivot, they've survived and thrived in the pandemic. Those who kept trying to do the things the same old way have struggled. So, Sumit, you shifted your strategy. Let's talk about that. Maybe it can help some other people get unstuck in this pandemic job search.
Yeah, so I believe like this was the moment of change, because um, several things were going around in the market, and um, it was like it was panic everywhere. So I realized that this is the moment that I need to shift gears. I need to do something different that people aren't doing. I need to like have those change in strategies or something which is um, not usually done by people. So before, if you look at my LinkedIn before the month of May, I wasn't really active. I wasn't really networking that much. And naturally, I'm actually an introvert. Until people know me, I then start talking and I love to connect with them. But that particular thing of starting a conversation, I'm really not good at it, I believe.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. We've got
yes,
several categories we're going to stop through here. We're going to talk about
yeah,
networking. We're going to talk about coding and prepping for interviews, interview calls, and then a couple other fun things that are going to help you guys out. So, ready to jump into those, Sumit?
yeah, sure.
All right. So, the
So,
first shift in the strategy is networking, especially writing good notes and messages. And this is going to be some real good, tangible, practical stuff for you guys. So, tell us some of the tricks and things you learned that worked for you.
sure. Okay, so as you might have told people about me, I landed interviews from Amazon, from Google, and from Goldman Sachs, and even from a couple of more good companies. So at that time, um, it was more like I knew that to land these interviews, just applying blindly for any job won't really help. So when I started networking or connecting with people on LinkedIn, I realized that I need to, there is a way to do it. Obviously, when you approach someone on LinkedIn, um, you can't just send a blank request. You need to send a short note. So I I actually had this template always created with me to send a short note. So I would like quickly share it, Rob.
Sure.
So it really helped me because that is like you always have that just a small amount of character space in there, and you have to describe yourself in the best possible way. So if you can see my screen, Rob, you could just share it.
Yeah. So it's kind of, yeah, there you go. Make it big and all.
Oops.
So we're going to show you guys some actual examples of
Yeah.
messages that,
So this is like a short intro note I used to send to my networks. Maybe it is a recruiter, or maybe it's someone um, from an organization who I wish to talk to, just to learn from the experience how exactly the organization is. So these are like uh, small things which I usually used to follow. So this is a kind of short note. You could edit it according to your needs. So like this was usually to a recruiter. So if it's not to a recruiter, I used to add up like an employee with whom I'm trying to connect. So that is how it used to be. Talking about this, this is like an intro note when you just send it to someone when you are trying to, um, I would say, trying to connect with them at the first point.
Sumit, some people are asking about getting copies of this. Would you be open to putting some of these in a PDF so we could share with people, or what do you think?
Sure. Like I can have a PDF after the conversation
Okay,
at the end of the session so that I can just forward it to you so that
cool.
it would be easier for people to have something like this handy to send a
All
note
right.
while connecting with different people on
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
If you guys haven't registered or signed up for the Chai and Coaching newsletters, here's a link here. If you guys go ahead and do that, we'll go ahead and share this in the next email newsletter we send out next week. And for all of you guys who tuned in, that'll be where you guys can access that. So make sure you're signed up to get our weekly newsletters, and we'll send that as well. We'll put a PDF of all the things that Sumit shares, and that
Mhm.
way you guys can have access for it.
Sure. Like I won't be just sharing such notes. I would be also sharing few of the important links which I followed on while applying for my jobs or maybe learning coding. So that
We'll
those
put all the
links would,
resources together for you guys.
yes, yes. So those links were really helpful for me. So I would also love if max number of people benefit from it.
Great. All right. So what's
So
next?
moving ahead, okay, so this was a short note, but usually if you have a LinkedIn premium, you also like tend to have a, okay, where is it? So if you have a LinkedIn Premium, you tend to have option of sending a long note while applying for any particular job. So this is a kind of long note template which I used to usually follow. So this is the note when you send to a recruiter who has posted a job. So if you have LinkedIn Premium, there is usually an option. If you don't have LinkedIn Premium, it's completely okay. So if you have connected with the recruiter, like the recruiter or the person has accepted your request, I used to send this template, which I used to follow. So at first, obviously, I would be talking about the interested job which I am, and later, this is the most important point. I feel like, how would you stand out from other people? Talk what you did unique. Talk the way you are standing out, like standing different from people. So the way I usually did it was by having described about the projects which I am working on at this particular moment, or maybe at that particular moment. So that is how I usually managed it. So over here, if you can see, at that particular moment in the month of, this was, I think so, in the month of May, I was working on my COVID-19 tracker project, and I made a point to mention about it because it was pandemic. COVID was something which was already trending everywhere, and I made a point to create something, like taking the opportunity of this particular situation. I tried to build up an application which was more of a COVID-19 uh, application tracking system. Along with that, I also had like uh, social media integrated with it. So I had like Twitter APIs which were inbuilt of this particular application. So it was quite interesting, and I made a point to like share about it in all my I would say messages to recruiters or the employees, so that they would get to know about it and they would actually notice my work. So people say like, I don't people talk about like, I don't really have work experience. Like, I had no experience back in my home country. I just came here directly for my masters after my graduation. So this is your opportunity to show out to the recruiters or employees that you are you actually have that ability to code or like do something different. So this is what I did. I used to have a brief description along with the my LinkedIn link, where I had described about the project in more detail, and also my GitHub. So just so that they could just go and click and check all other my projects. So that's how I had this long message or long note set up, and it's a template. So I would be also, I have couple of more templates for this long message. So I would be again sending those to Rob, so that he could just share those resources with you.
Fantastic. Thanks,
Yeah,
Sumit.
no
Is
problem.
there anything else about notes and messages and networking you want to share before we get into the coding hack and the boot camps kind of stuff?
Yes, I do have a couple of more topics
All
to
right,
talk about.
let's do it.
So the third one which I wanted to talk about is, if you are networking, don't just network for the sake of it or for your benefit. I believe that Rob has always talked about this in his previous sessions. So if you're networking with someone, just like when you see any job application, just don't start sending them the links and your resumes. That's not networking. Networking never works like single-handed. You have to put some extra effort. So you have to build that bond with the recruiter or with the employee. So the way I actually did it was, I okay, it might sound pretty weird, but I actually had an Excel sheet set up for myself where I had the names of different recruiters or employees from different organizations. So in one column, I had a name of a recruiter or the employee. The second column was the, um, I would say, the name of the organization. And the third column was the date. It might sound funny, but yes, it had the dates of the last message which I had sent to them. So, take an example. I was actually networking with one of the recruiters at Google. So, I made it a point when she accepted my message. I used to keep a check on her. Like, it was not just like going ahead and sending resumes. No, that's not networking. So when you network, I used to ask her like, how are things at your end? Has COVID affected you in any way, or is your family okay? Wish her during festivals. So this is the way you build that bond, and trust me, that really helped me. Um, so I in the Excel I had this date set up, like different dates I had dropped different messages to these recruiters, and I used to keep updating it at least twice a month. Like in a month or in 2 weeks, I used to text them once on LinkedIn so that I could have that bond set up with them. And it's very important because people tend to just drop them random message with the link and saying that, please can you help me. That's not networking. That's like you're begging for a job. So there
Hmm.
might be several other people out there who might be begging for job just like you. And this pandemic is like, there might be even more because of this pandemic. So this is something which I followed. I had an Excel. So um, if you people are really interested in networking, so this is the way actually you do it. I had read several articles before following this approach. So trust me, it works. And that's how you build a relationship. It's more of a relationship rather than networking with the recruiters or employees. So that was my third point. The fourth point, which I believe that rarely anyone would do it. Like, I believe in this, people who are currently live and watching this, hardly any people might be thinking about doing this. um, so what is a usual human tendency when they see a rejection? They would start reacting like, just another rejection, it's my bad day, nothing is going right. So that is how we usually react. But did anyone think about how exactly we should be taking it, and it's actually an opportunity to showcase ourselves? No, we didn't. So I would give you an example. So just any other rejection mail. Just give me a moment, I would quickly share my screen again. So just like any other rejection, I would share about my one of my rejection emails and how I used to proceed with it. There we go. I hope you can see it on my screen. Rob, is it visible to everyone?
Yeah, zoom it just a tiny bit more.
Okay,
Perfect.
there you go. So again,
And we'll,
this
we'll send this out again later, but just so you guys can get an idea.
sure. So again, this is any other rejection mails which might be in your inbox. Like there might be thousands of it if you're applying actively. So again, I got this email from a recruiter saying that you have been rejected because of several other reasons. And the way I took this as an opportunity to showcase myself so that she remembers me. So here you go. I just dropped a small template. I had this template set up with me already. Thank you for taking time. I told about how passionate I am about my software development, and I mentioned about the company that I really admire them. Further, I described about what they really do, so she could see that I'm putting some extra efforts over here. Like they were into food service, so I just mentioned I truly believe that the food service work you are doing will forever change the world for a better place. So this small template can make a huge difference. Trust me, it could make a huge difference. And I would quickly show you what happened after that. So following that email, just within next I think so next 10 or 15 minutes, I received this reply from her. How rare is it? How rare is it to a rejection email you could get a reply? So this actually makes an impact. You could clearly see, like, she really appreciated me for that. So now, next time, if you know that you see a particular job, or if I see a particular job which is aligned with my particular interest of that particular organization, I can quickly go and maybe reply her to this particular email chain. There are high chances that she might take my application into consideration. So it works. trust me, these small things, they make a difference. So I would also suggest people out there to take the small things seriously. It hardly takes like 10 minutes max to max to create such a small template and look for and gain information about the organization. So it really worked for me at this point, Rob.
I love it. I love it. Let's
Yeah,
keep tracking because we got a lot to cover still and want to do some Q&A. So you ready to
sure.
jump into this next section? I know this is going to add a lot of value to people as well.
Sure. Before going to the coding hacks and learning, there is one small point which I love to talk about always is in the point of networking is being part of a certain community. If you're a developer and if you're not a part of any community, you're seriously lagging something, because the way you learn is the way you learn from different people and their experiences. So I'm a part of couple of developer communities. One of them is Clever Programmers, which they have a YouTube channel, and I usually follow them because when I was in my job hunt, I was working to developing new projects. So they are one of the amazing channels which actually helped me to
Hmm.
gain that kind of knowledge about React JS, to be specific. So it was amazing, and so be a part of certain community, talk to people, learn from their experience. So that would really help you, I would say.
Awesome. And you guys, if this video, if this live stream is helping you guys, adding value, give a big like and thumbs up to the video to say thanks to Sumit. And we're going to jump into the next topic,
Sure.
preparing for interviews and getting more technically sound and how Sumit worked hard to do that.
Well, I think so. There might be many people who are interested in this particular thing, especially if you're a programmer or a developer, because coming from me, as I'm saying, like I am really not any like top class programmer or someone like that. Um, but the way I took interviews, I used to take them very seriously. I used to consider them as my only opportunity. Like each interview I took them as my only chance. So over here, when you apply for any particular job, the first call that you have, the very initial calls, is is with the HR. It's a 30 minutes call where the HR would try to understand your background and get to know you in a better way, so that the total number of resumes which he has, I would say, sorted out. From those sorted resumes, he would make a point to check who are the ones who are a good match for this particular job. So that is a particular thing which HRs or recruiters usually do. So these 30 minutes are actually your opportunity. And trust me, people don't take them really seriously, because they are like, it's a 30 minutes call. It's okay. I would prepare like 5 minutes before it and I would just go. Like, you have to talk monotonous thing. Like, recruiter would just end up asking me, tell me about yourself. And we have a like a speech which we usually say out each time. So okay, there are more factors to it, I would say. So when you're preparing for this 30 minutes call, firstly, and the most important thing, research. Research as much as you can about that organization. So when I say research, you need to look into several aspects of it. Like, what does the organization do? What kind of projects which are currently trending in the organization, or what kind of clients they are working with. So these things, if you know these things, you know inside things, then definitely the recruiter or the hiring manager would feel like, wow, this person, this candidate really knows a lot about the organization. He has taken those efforts to study about us. So that builds up a positive impression, I would say, which ultimately, trust me, not just in that interview, it would be carried forward in all the respective interviews which you would be giving. So it makes a huge difference. Second thing, I would say, talk to people. Network before the 30 minutes call. So if you know that you have a 30 minutes call coming up on Friday, and it's Monday today, so make a point to connect with someone who is from that particular organization. So if you connect with that person who's from the organization, he could give you some important insights. He could tell you about what things are currently going on in the organization, or how is the interview process, or some insights which the recruiter won't purposely tell you. So you get to learn from people's experience again over here. So that is the thing which I believe I took into consideration while going with my 30-minute call. So, and obviously, then during the 30-minute call, when I introduce myself at the end, I would be talking about all these things. I would make a point that I make an impression by stating that I know about the organization. It's not just the role, I know about what exactly you are doing or what kind of projects you are working. So that makes a real impact over there. And rest of the interview things I would be now talking about in my coding, the way I learned coding. So again, lead code is the platform which I believe is very much popular among the different coders or programmers who are applying for software developer jobs in any organization. So um, the way I started doing lead code, I started doing lead code in the month of Jan. And I believe that I was very naive at that time. Like, I wasn't really good. It was just like a starter for me. I wasn't able. I believe that I wasn't even able to solve a easy level question of lead code. I was really struggling with it. So there is a discussion board in lead code which I usually use to check and read different stories about people and learn from their experience over there. So there is one this particular article which I would love to show over there. I might share about it in the description link maybe later. Rob, we can do that. I
Sure.
have like a couple of links to share about different articles which I read while starting initially with my coding. So I might do it later, Rob. I
Okay.
would just share the link. So though I would
Sounds
just
good.
brief about, yeah. So I would just brief what exactly those articles were about. So for amateur coder like me who's just starting coding maybe during the month of Jan and who is preparing for his interviews or who's graduating in month of May. So there are like step by step approach. So I use those approach like starting with very basic, start with arrays, then go to linked list, then go ahead and do some graphs or maybe different problems. So there are levels of programmings out there in that article, which I usually followed. So when I started coding in the month of Jan, I tried to cover and get mastery over one particular topic. So I try to master myself in arrays. So while doing that, I would start with very basic. I would learn about arrays, then I would proceed with easy level questions. Proceed next would be the medium, and finally the hard ones. So for each topic like arrays, linked list, maybe graphs, or all other different algorithms. So that is the way I proceeded with it. Like, I knew that I'm really not good, so I need to master one particular topic. So that really helped me, I would say. There are a couple of more articles which I would suggest students to read about. So maybe we could have it in the description link of this video so that
Hmm.
people can just click on them and refer to them. And
Yeah.
trust me,
Oh,
it's very well explained by um, those people who have written it. So a big shout out to those guys who have taken efforts to write these articles and sharing
yeah.
their experience. So
And we
it's
can share those with the other resources too.
definitely we could do that. So that is how I started my coding. And once you get a hands-on on coding, like you are confident that you have covered all different topics, then comes a point to master it. You need to get well at lead code. So when you are getting good, you need to, like people say, like you need to do at least like 10 questions of different categories a day, or maybe 8 questions, 8 max to max, I would say minimum to at least 5 questions a day, because that's how you gain insights of different topics and do different questions. And so what I did, we followed a strategy. I had like couple of friends with whom I used to do my lead code or practice my lead code. So we had this strategy. We were a group of three, so we had this strategy of doing two problems each individually. So we used to usually sit and code together at evening. So during the daytime, we used to do our application and used to do at least 2 or 3 problems daily. And that might be from different sections. Maybe some might be arrays, or some might be linked lists, some might be dynamic programming, some might be graphs. So yes, so this is how we usually proceeded with it, and it really helped us. Like 2 problems or 3 problems each. Then at 6 p.m. in the evening, we all used to sit together and try to teach each other the 3 problems that we did. So teaching was a medium which actually helped us, because it made us easier to like clarify that have we understood the problem, have we understood the way we have written the code. And also other way was like we used to get to hear different approaches that someone else might use it. So if
Mm,
I'm doing a graph problem and I solved it in a particular way, then maybe some other person who like listens to this particular problem might suggest some different approach. So this really helped us, like group studying. It's not really a group studying, but it's a discussion where you learn a problem, like you learn 3 problems and then discuss those 3 problems. So in all, after this session, we would individually complete the rest of the 6 problems. So 3 problems you had already mastered, then the 3 problems which you learn from each one of them, you try to master them. So this really helped us. I have a friend Vidushi who's currently in the chat, and she has recently landed her job in Amazon. I used to practice a lot of my coding stuffs with her, so it was really fun to do that. And yeah, it really helped both of us at that moment. I really developed my coding skills, and simultaneously, not just me, even she benefited from it. So consider daily you're doing like uh, 9 problems a day. So in a week you are like doing quite a lot, and just imagine the number of problems you're covering in a month. So that is the thing. That was a goal, and it helped us to develop our coding skills. Trust me, I wasn't good in dynamic programming, but when I started having these sessions or discussions with Vidushi or maybe someone else, uh, Vidushi and Ravina, yes, we used to have this discussion, and we used to talk about different topics. So maybe at times we would just focus on one particular topic, like maybe dynamic programming on graphs, and we would just do dynamic programming on graphs for like a week, just to do the get mastery over it. So it was really fun to do it like that, and it really helped me. So that was it about my coding hacks, or my coding, the way I learned coding right from start. I would be sharing those articles out there in the description or with Rob very soon, so that you could go through it.
awesome.
Along with that, for resumes, I had this website called JobScan, which I use, which actually helps you to match keywords. So I think it's like free for a month. So you could like subscribe for it. It's called JobScan. Again, I repeat, my friend Yash, who's again in the chat, he helped me to understand how JobScan work and trust me, you would see amazing results, because the way it did it, you just have to upload your resume. Along with that, you on the other window you have to add your description, and it would match each keyword and give you a percentage of match. So
Mm,
you have a free trial, but again you can use the incognito to skip that. So yeah, you could just keep using it, and it was really um, and it really helped, not just with the resume, even with cover. So we talk about making that um, like small tweaks in your resumes or cover. So this particular website, which is JobScan, really helped me doing that.
awesome. And with all this preparation that led to interviews, so next we're going to be talking about interview calls. But
Yep.
we've got so many people tuning in. This is really excited. I want to hear from you guys, the audience, real quick. What kind of job roles are you guys searching for? If you guys are looking for a job now, go ahead and put in the comments. Let us know what are the job roles that you guys are looking for, and maybe you guys can connect. See, it'd be kind of fun to see what you guys are looking for, and we can kind of continue to share things to help you guys out. So in the comments, tell us what kind of job roles you guys are looking for, and Sumit's going to talk about now the things he did to do well during his interview calls. That some didn't go earlier in the year, and he got better as the year went on.
Yeah, so I would be like talking about good things first. So, okay, interview calls. The all the about like approaches which I mentioned, talking about networking, the way I network, the way I build up my network, posting continuously on LinkedIn. Again, that's an important thing. I used to post about my experience, plus I used to post about my learnings. So take an example, I learned about a different topic. So I used to make a point to post about it. So that actually helped me grow my LinkedIn network, and that in a way helped me land my interviews. I remember like this particular scenario when one of my LinkedIn connection just messaged me stating that, "Hey Sumit, I have been quite a long. I have been your connection for quite a long time now, and I see that you have been looking for a job. So I have this friend in this organization who I believe can directly refer you to the recruiter and who could help you to land your dream job." So isn't this amazing? Like how powerful is LinkedIn? Like some random connection whom you really don't know that much, but he's just making a point to like step ahead and help you. So it's all about helping and learning from LinkedIn. So I have personally learned a lot from LinkedIn, and that helped me land couple of great interviews in good organization, I would say. One of them, I would state few of them, like Google, Goldman Sachs. um, then I would be talking about Amazon. Like I gave couple of interviews for Amazon as well. See, as I would say, like I wasn't able to clear them all, or maybe go till the final round. But yeah, somewhere around the third, fourth round, always I failed, and somewhere it's luck, or somewhere like you lack certain skills. But I made it a point that I learned from each of my experience. So um, for interviews, again, I would say like I used a lot of lead code for practicing my coding. For doing the technical interviews, just go through the Amazon principles. They are more than enough. They won't just help you for your Amazon interviews, but they would definitely help you for any non-technical interview, non-technical or HR interviews. So learn Amazon principles. They are really good, I would say. So yeah, that was most about my interview calls. Like practice well if you know that you are gonna have your interview after 2 weeks. So like I knew that um, I have a Google interview coming up after 2 weeks. So I would plan the entire 2 week. I would have a strict schedule. I would start
Hmm.
waking. And one more important thing which I would love to talk about, that if you are getting interviews or if you're having upcoming interviews, make it a point that you don't stop applying for jobs, because I have seen people like they focus completely on interviews, like they give 24 hours of the day, or maybe uh, most of the time they are just focusing and studying for interviews. Don't do that, because there is much more and there are many opportunities out for you out there. So if maybe if you fail to I would say if you fail to not clear that interview, you would have a other opportunity which might be lined up at that time. So never stop applying, never stop applying. Make a point that you apply for your role, the role that you are interested in. So you could have a schedule set up, like during the morning time you could uh, during the morning time you could give to just applications, and after the afternoon you could focus on your developing your coding skills, or doing a lot of coding for or prepping for your interviews. So before prepping for any interviews, make a point to go to Glassdoor. Go to Glassdoor, check different interview question asked by the organization. Go on LinkedIn, Lead Code, and check for different technical questions which are recently being asked by that particular organization. So that was about it. And okay, over here at this point, I would love to share a few things. I went through like 3 hiring freeze during my job search. The most bigger one I would say was one of the organization where I had given interviews till the fourth round. I won't really take the name of the organization, but I gave interview till the fourth round, and I believe that the fifth round was the final round. And after that, I would had a small HR call for formalities with the organization. So um, all was going really good, and I was all set for my final round. I was really excited because I was said that within a week we would schedule for the next round, and this was in the month of April, I think, and I never received a call. I waited
Mm,
for like 2 weeks. I dropped the follow-up emails, and I never really received a call. And I was just waiting, what's happening? And after like 2 weeks, I believe, there was an email from the HR who stated, um, "We are really sorry about all this, but it's very unfortunate to say that we are going under hiring freeze for this particular position." It was an heartbreaking moment. So talking about this particular moment, we would like to switch to the next topic, Rob.
definitely. Well, before we go, I want to share a couple things that I think will help. In America, the culture is very different. The same with the hiring culture. How you get jobs in your home country is definitely not going to be the same in America.
Yeah.
So in America, your technical skills might get you the interview, but your soft skills get you the job. In America, they hire people not because of your numbers, but because of your personal connection. It's much more subjective than objective. So really in America, what the recruiters are thinking is, do I like this person? Doesn't matter how smart you are. I know people who are much less qualified that get jobs all the time in America because they make a better connection. So it's all about the relationship and the connection and communicating your value and tangible skills, much more than just having the best GPA or number of certifications or rankings on LeetCode. Because if you can't make a connection, they don't like you, with all that competition, you're not going to stand out. So it's all about standing out, making the connections, your soft skills that are going to give you the advantage over all the competition. But as we've learned, not all interviews result in a job offer. And I think this is a really important thing that no one really ever talks about. But how do you handle rejections? How do you bounce back? How do you persevere? How do you be professional about this and stay motivated? So Sumit has some great things that helped him to persevere during the pandemic and still get an amazing job in 2020.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, so I see people asking me, one of my friend asking me how many interviews did I give. So, um, considering the total interviews, I think the count is more than 25 at this point. Till this point, I landed my final job. I gave more than 25 interviews to different companies. At some, maybe I had gone till the later stages, and some might be in the initial stages. So, yes, that was a count for me.
And
But
25 is really good. I know a lot of students don't even get 5 or 10, interviews. So 25 is pretty good.
yeah, so okay, talking about what actually happened during the pandemic, I went through this couple of hiring freeze. So the biggest one was this particular organization where I went through the hiring freeze at the fourth round. And trust me, I was broken at that moment. I was completely shattered because it hurted me, because you take so much of effort for each interview. You put on those efforts, additional efforts, you focus completely on that, and it hurts. Trust me, it hurts. But this is the moment. This is the moment that you should learn. So there are a couple of things. The way I handle these rejections, the most important is to take a break. People tend to like avoid this thing. They, if they get rejected from an organization, they would tend to like, okay, now I would just do it again. I would give my full energy, and the very next moment they would just start open their laptop and start coding again. No, you might not end up doing that for a long time, because somewhere at some point you will get mentally exhausted. Somewhere at some point you will feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore. This is really hurting me. Um, so this is the point where I realized that I needed a break. And it was clearly visible on my face. Like my roommates can see it, my friends can see it. Like, okay, I'm really depressed over something. And I remember that that particular time, that day, I had this good party with my friends. We made good food, we had good wine, we had fun, and it was really amazing. Like that was the break which I actually needed. And that in somewhere it helps you subconsciously, helps your mind to recover, and that's really important. And that's how it was for me. It was really hard. I took this break and realized that okay, now what, and that's how I started planning for my next day. And on the next day, I looked back to my interview. What went wrong? What exactly went wrong? What things I'm lacking? Was it my soft skill? Was it my technical skills? Was it my coding? So if I'm most of the time for me as a developer, it was my coding. I was lagging at one particular topic. And trust me, I was hit by that particular topic quite a while. So I maybe like many other programmers, I wasn't really good at dynamic programming. I used to struggle a lot. Every time I used to get that topic in the interviews, I would be scared. So I made it to point like at one point I was like, enough. I need to master this thing. So I focused on that thing for a week or two. I just did dynamic programming questions so that again, if in case again in any interviews I land up a question on dynamic programming algorithm, I should be able to answer that. I should be confident that okay, I can do this. Usually it used to happen to me like if I know that this is a dynamic programming question already, just by reading the question I would be shattered. I would like, okay, I can't do it. But no, if you have that confidence, you practice that question or the type of questions, you get mastery over it. So that really helped me, like taking a step back and look back to what went wrong and learning from your own experience. So it was amazing. Like that's how you learn. And the next topic is it's not just learning from your experience. If you know that there are your friends who are applying for different companies and they are landing interviews or giving interviews, learn from their experience as well. Go and ask, make it a point just to not be shy. Just go and ask how was the interview, like how was the coding, like did you manage to do it, was the code tough, what kind of questions do you ask, what kind of topics were they based on completely coding, or was it more of a technical kind of phone call? So learn about learn from different people as well. I used to make a point that to go ahead and talk to different people and learn from their experience. Especially when I used to connect on people with LinkedIn, I used to ask them like, "Can you just share me about your brief experience? How did you land a job in Google?" So during the weekend, I would have those calls scheduled, and maybe for an hour or so, I used to talk with them, take those important notes, which would help me during my interviews. That might be the case, like those notes might not just help for that particular organization, they might be applicable for other interviews as well. So I made a point to learn from people's experience, and yeah, that's the way I handled all my rejections. Learn to take a break, look back, and learn from people's experience.
Yeah, I love that, you still did fun things. You had things that refreshed you. You did stuff with your friends. You'd
Yep,
have a fun meal. And yeah, you need to decompress, you need to refresh, you need to recharge. And the people that just sit at home applying 24/7, you're going to burn out and you're going to quit and
exactly.
you're going to give up.
You
And then you're not going to be positive and fresh when it's time to actually get the interview when you eventually get one. And so having that healthy balance is so important.
Yeah, people tend to go through depression, and it's very important, and it's okay to cry even if you are going through a lot. Just let it out, talk to people, talk to your best friends. So I had like couple of really good friends. I had my best friend Shriya and Manya and Kunal, with whom I usually connected and discuss all these things which I'm going through. And
Hmm.
somewhere it really helped. If it's not your friends, talk to your family, they are the best people. I used to have words with my brother most of the time, and learning from their experience, it was amazing. So yeah, it was like stay healthy. You need to not just stay healthy physically during this time, you also need to stay mentally healthy.
Yeah.
So
Having that support system of good friends and community to help
exactly,
is
it's really
so important.
important
You can't do it
important
on
to
your
be.
own.
Yeah, and I consider myself very lucky to be around with really good people who were really helpful all the time. So I could see like couple of them are really there in the chats and always supporting me. So
Yeah,
they
that's
they
awesome.
all are amazing. They are all are amazing. Like they had been with me throughout this journey, and
Hmm.
it would had been impossible without them.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got one more quick topic to share about before we get to the Q&A, but I want to hear from you guys in the audience again. What is the dream company that you want to work for? So whether it's, here in America or somewhere else in the world, what's the dream company that you guys want to work for, that you would be just amazing? Go ahead and share in the comments. Sumit, before you came to America, what was like your dream company you were hoping to maybe get a job with someday?
Well, like any other developer or programmer, it was like Google mostly for me. Like I wanted to work for Google. So it's
Hmm.
still on my list, and maybe few years down the line, I would be able to achieve my dream.
Awesome. Well, let's bring this conversation home, wrapping up your 2020 journey from January, the ups and downs and the trials and the pivots. And you got a dream, you got your job, which is so exciting. Like right now, any job in 2020 is a dream job,
Yeah.
really. But you're working for an amazing company. I've had other friends that work with your company that love it. You're going to get great work experience, great projects. So, yeah, tell us some of the things that wrap up this story, and then we'll hang out with our friends who are tuning in and do some fun Q&A together.
Sure. So, okay. For people who really don't know about it, I currently work for MathWorks as a web application developer. I call it as my dream job because it is a kind of role which I always wanted to do, or the kind of technology which I always wanted to work. So I have always been a Java developer. I had my specialization in Java. Along with that, I had a lot of interest in front end. So I was learning React for quite a long time, and I was looking for a job which is in React. So this was a perfect opportunity which came at the right time for me, and yeah, it just went all good. And now I think I'm like 2 weeks into my job, and I'm really enjoying it. So the stack which people who are asking me, the stack which I am working on, it's Java along with React. So in Java, I'm working on Spring Boot. And also for landing this job, I would like to thank the hiring manager and also the recruiters of MathWorks. They have been really helpful, and even now I'm working with an amazing team out there in MathWorks who have set up quite an expectation from me, which I look forward to achieve and learn from their experience as well. And I'm really excited to looking down a few months from here, and I'm really excited that I would be able to achieve some good stuffs over there.
And tell me, what does MathWorks kind of focus on? What do they do as a company?
Yes, so people who don't really know about MathWorks, you might have heard about the most popular application, which is MATLAB. Most of the engineering students tend to use it during their undergrad in University of Mumbai, at least. So it is a application which is used widely. But I don't really work for the application team, but I work for a business logic team where we manage or develop couple of internal applications which are specific to the organizations. So, like, take an example. If someone internally is using something related to um, like there are different internal systems that we tend to use. So I'm working with the architecture team out there, mostly on Spring Boot and React.
Mm, looks like someone else, Manish, just also joined in August, so you guys can connect as
Oh wow,
new hires at MathWorks. So
that's
be
good.
sure to send Sumit a LinkedIn request. So that's
Sure, I would love
exciting.
to connect.
Awesome. Well, any final things you want to share, Sumit, as we wrap up before we head into the Q&A? Any parting words or final encouragement? Or you've done a great job telling your story, and I've loved it and
Thank
learned so
you.
much.
Well, final words would be like learn from people, talk to different people, learn from their experience. That is very important, I would say. And if you're doing internship at this moment, like I saw like couple of people mention that they are currently doing internship. If you're doing internship at a particular organization, give your 100% out there and try to convert that particular internship into full time. Apart from that, make use of different resources when you are at a particular organization. So if you are doing an internship over there, connect with the hiring manager and HR out there and have a word with them, discuss your resumes and cover letters with them. So I actually did this. I actually did my internship at Dassault System, and I had my recruiter Susan Temple, who really helped me developing my resume and cover letters at the end of my internship. So that's the way. You just need to ask people and ask for their help, and there is no harm in asking for their help. You would just learn from that.
Yeah, there's so many resources that people don't take advantage of, and
Yep.
it's just your loss. So be sure to
Exactly.
seek those things out. Fantastic. Well, I've loved it. Let's dialogue, let's connect, let's talk with some people here.
Sure.
And in order to connect, I'm just throwing in the chat here. Well, we'd love to connect with you guys more as well. If you've never subscribed to Chai and Coaching before, we're going to keep putting out great content to help you guys be successful in your cross-cultural journey. You guys can connect with me on Instagram and LinkedIn, and we've got the same stuff for Sumit in the video description as well. So feel free to connect. We want to continue the conversation with you guys even after this as well. If you guys have a question, go ahead and throw it in, and we'll try and answer these. So we got one already. So Shankar asked, are FANG companies difficult to crack the interviews and internship? What do you think about that, Sumit, here in America?
Okay. Okay. Considering for full time, it's comparatively, I would say, easier to get into a FANG during the internship period, because all my friends who I have who work at FANG companies, take an example, Google,
Mm,
they mostly landed that job in Google during their internship. They just had like a single coding round, I believe, and later a short HR round. So that's it. It was that easy to get into Google for him. So, and later that particular internship got converted into full time. So it's important the way, I would say, it's important to land an interview for an internship, because it's really tough. If you get that interview, make the most of it. Give
mm,
your 101%, put that extra effort, because that is your opportunity. That is your moment.
mm. That's great. All right. Here's a fun question from Vidushi. Please tell us about your weekly posts on LinkedIn and how it helped you.
Okay, Vidushi is my friend. So I tend to post a lot on LinkedIn. I talk about my experience and the different things I learn. So if I learn something different about any particular topic, take an example, I'm learning front end and I'm learning Material UI or Bootstrap. So these are libraries which are used. So if I learn something new, I tend to share it. And then people might end up commenting or liking your post. You could get good amount of views. So I remember that I have, yeah, like few posts of similar category where I have like more than 50,000 views on a post. So that's really amazing. So the be active on LinkedIn, post regularly, post good content, just don't post for the sake of it, and try to connect with similar minded people or people who are from your stream who would respond back to or comment on your LinkedIn post. So that really helps in getting views. And the hack for that is, in the first hour of your LinkedIn post, try to get as much of activities as possible. Like tell people, maybe share your post with people so that they could like get you views or even comment or like. So that's how you, I mean, grow your network and get more views or likes and comment on your LinkedIn.
Hmm. Awesome. All right. This is a three-part question. We'll throw up
Sure.
parts A and B first before C. Shravari asked, how much does that help in landing a job, and what would be the best way to approach networking?
Okay, good question. So talking about landing a job, the more active you're on LinkedIn, the more visibility you get. So I have noticed that if any particular recruiter, so I have a recruiter who works in like who's my very good friend, and She works in one of the good companies over here in New York City. So she told me about this. She actually told me, like, if we have a vacancy for any particular post, the first thing that we do is we type it in the search bar, the description of that particular post, and then look down for the people who are actually related to that particular, I would say, job which is there. So take an example. My friend, she was looking for a software developer, so she just went into LinkedIn, and in the search she just added software developer, and she got couple of options out there. So this is where it plays a role. If you have really good connection, if you have really good views for your post, if you have like a huge connection or a huge impact on LinkedIn, your name might come up in the list. So this is the point where it actually helps, and this is actually it's actually a LinkedIn hack. Like the more you use it, the more visibility you get, the more you have that, I would say, the social timestamp or the visibility. It helps. So
Hmm.
that really works. And it also worked for me, like for a couple of interviews which I gave in various startups around United States. They reached me through LinkedIn. They also mentioned, a few of them, they also mentioned that they saw my post and they liked my projects. So again, important thing, when you do a particular project, make a point to post on LinkedIn. Write a huge description, put it on LinkedIn, add a GitHub link, and maybe the deployment link for that particular project, so that they can directly click and check on it. So that really worked for me.
Hmm. So someone, her next part is, what do recruiters look for? Credentials, how active you are in your posts. So here's something crazy that a lot of people don't know, that of
Hmm.
all the monthly active users on LinkedIn, only 1% of LinkedIn users post
Hmm.
content. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So few people actually post on LinkedIn. It's such a green algorithm that's so favorable than any other social media platform. The reach is incredible. And so be posting every single day. If you're not, I mean, it's just a wasted opportunity. I think it's both the amount of what you're posting and what you post. Again, post that shows. Don't make posts saying you're looking for a job because everyone
Hmm.
else is on LinkedIn begging, and you're just going to blend in with all the beggars.
Yeah.
Post content that shows your skills, your experience, your expertise. Post the things that recruiters are going to be like, oh, that person knows what they're doing. Why we need that kind of person working on our team. And then post things that just show that you're unique, a person,
Yeah.
and just practice and that are kind of targeted at the niche that you're looking for. But then also LinkedIn is a search engine. It's so SEO is really important. I've did a video a few weeks ago about the 7 essentials for a LinkedIn profile. Be sure to check out my Chai and Coaching. Most international students have terrible LinkedIn profiles, and they don't even have 3 out of the 7 essentials, checked off on the list. And so go check out that video. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is updated. It's robust. It's building your personal brand, and you'll be surprised at how people reach out to you and find you if you post content and have an awesome profile
That's
on
so
LinkedIn.
true. That's so true. Honestly, I landed like 4 to 5 interviews through my LinkedIn profile itself. Like the recruiters or someone from the organization, they directly email me on my LinkedIn, and we just went along with it. So that really helps a lot.
Hmm.
Again, an important thing for developers specifically, I would love to say, develop as many attractive projects as you can. Develop good projects, develop good contents, and then post them and make it public for people.
Yeah.
Let them access your repo and check your code. Let them see how it looks. So the other day I was telling Rob that I had made a couple of really good projects by going through online sessions and YouTube. So it really helps. So make it a point to develop good projects and add it to your portfolio and profile.
And share them on your alternative resumes. So share them on
Yeah,
LinkedIn, on your personal website, on your GitHub. Make them available so people can actually see them, and then the
yeah,
recruiters will find them, and that's going to make you stand out. So,
definitely.
all right, Janil, he says, what motivates you through the process? More importantly, how did you stay on track with the reductions, hiring freeze, and rules changing?
Okay, so there was a lot going on around at that time. As I said, like I went through 3 hiring fees. One was a big one. So what really kept me motivated was my aim to get a good job in United States. I wanted to get into some good organization and learn from different things. I knew that I had responsibilities, but along with that, as I said previously, like I tried to keep a balance, because if you just keep rotting yourself with coding and prep, you might exhaust yourself at one point. So do things that you like do follow your hobbies. Like if you have any hobbies, do them. So it really helps. So I was into weight training. So I used to do a weight training a lot so that my mind is diverted for at least that particular point from, I would say, from my application or my interviews. So your mind needs a rest and you need to take things one at a time. So that's what I did.
Awesome.
And also, again, an important thing, try to be along with good people around you. If you don't have, like, if you don't tend to share few things with your roommates, have
Hmm.
a word with your best friends or family. Talk to them about it. If you're going through something, always communicate. It really helps.
Hmm. So here's a question. What about someone who wasn't able to land an internship, now are about to graduate and find jobs, applying but not getting replies? This is normal, but it's very possible. I have a few videos on Chai and coaching that people share how they didn't have any work experience coming to America. They came straight from undergrad, couldn't get an internship, or didn't have any prior work experience, and were able to get internships and full-time jobs. So check those out. But it is possible. Sumit, what do you think?
It's very normal. Trust me, it's very normal. Like you keep messaging people and they don't reply or avoid your messages on LinkedIn. It's very normal because imagine a recruiter uh, on a daily basis, a good recruiter, she might be have her inbox filled with around 100 messages for different from different students. And why would she actually reply them? Like
Mhm.
considering her or him as a normal person, it's really tough for her to go through them and reply to each one of them. Even if she wants to do that, she has a job, she has a family to look after, so it's very obvious. So important point, if you are sending notes or messages, try to make them attractive or try to add something which would grab their attention over at that point. So for me, I made it a point to add my projects. I used to add different projects, or if not description of the projects, I would just add my cloud link or my Firebase link where I have deployed those projects. So they could just click and go and check what exactly that project is about. And if they
Mhm.
love it, they would definitely reply you back. So
Yeah.
that's again a very important point, I believe. Like again, as I mentioned, network. If they are not replying, not everyone will reply. Trust me, not everyone will reply. You need to like be patient about this thing. It doesn't come like just overnight. It's a slow process. You need to give yourself a time. So that really helped me. Yeah. um,
Yeah.
Building good projects, sharing them with people, getting that visibility so that people know you, and you end up might getting good calls.
One thing that's really important to know about the American job market is the majority of jobs in America are filled through referrals,
Yeah.
networking, and relationships. And actually, very few jobs in America are filled through applying online. And applying online is the worst way for people to get jobs, especially F1 international students. And so, if
Yeah.
you're only applying online, you're really limited and hurting yourself. Spend more time networking and building relationships with professionals in America than you do online. And that's where the jobs come. And since you guys are still hanging out with us at the end of the Q&A, I'm going to give you guys a treat. Here's the two books that I always recommend to people in the chat there. Um, there's the Power Ties, which explains how the whole US job market works, why applying online and the formal HR process is terrible, and why networking and how to do networking and how to do informational interviews. And this is what I teach and coach and train students and professionals how to do. So check that out. And then another great book, speaking of India, any international student should read it, but it talks about the relationship and communication differences between Eastern and Western cultures, America and Asia, and how to improve your soft skills. And so two great resources. Check those out, and those are guys are going to really help you out in your job search and to be better. So, all right, we got a MathWorks question for you, Sumit.
Okay, really good question. First, I would answer the second part of the question. Honestly, I did a bit of React during my previous work experience, but I learned React from someone like I talked about this YouTube channel previously. It's Clever Programmer, and the teacher over there is Sony Sanga. So he is like really good at React, and he has a very fun way of teaching it. So it was amazing to learn from him, and all the different React projects which I built, it was from his experience or the way he taught me. So a big shout out to Sony Sanga. He's really amazing. You could check his uh, like you could go and check LinkedIn for clever programmers. They really have good projects and good content out there. Answering the first part of the question, what kind of React work I do. Okay, so we have like different internal applications which are the front end of these application is actually built on React. So take an example, it might be a very small process. So for my team, I'm from an architecture team, we might work on an application which might be used by different teams in the organization. So we build couple of internal applications which are the front end which are based on React.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Okay, a great question. How do we get better at soft skills? You've talked about the rejections a little bit as well, but if you want to add more to that, great. But I think this is a great, how do we improve on soft skills? Because soft skills are so important in America.
Definitely. So the best way I would say to learn for an international student or improve his soft skill is to have a friend base which is not just of their which is not just of a same culture. Explore different cultures, talk to different peoples from different cultures or different countries. That really helps or to build up or at least gives you a confidence to talk in public. So I play soccer. I play a lot of soccer. So I have like different friends out there from different countries with whom I usually connect with. It trust me, subconsciously, if you like talk to them, it gives you a confidence to speak to different people from different cultures. So have friends from different culture, learn from their experience, and somewhere you would tend to build up your soft skill.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
totally.
and the other ways are very book written. Like there are several things which people talk about, but this is a good way to learn, I would say.
Just yeah, just the general principle. Anything you want to learn and get better at, practice it. If you want to
Yeah,
get better at coding, practice coding. If you want to get better at soccer, practice soccer. If you want to get better
exactly.
at soft skills and communicating and relating with people that are different than you
Yep,
got to go practice it. You're not going to learn it in a book.
yep.
And most international students I know, I am the only American that they know or count as a friend, which is I'm honored, but it's terrible. And why they don't get jobs is because they don't know any Americans.
Definitely,
And so if you don't know
definitely.
Americans, you can't practice your soft skills and you're going to be terrible at getting a job. So the more Americans you have as friends, the better your soft skills are going to get and the better chances you have of getting a job. So prioritize that over everything else. And that's how you really succeed and thrive here in
Yeah.
America.
And I believe like we South Asians, we are usually shy when it comes to talking to people, especially if
Hmm.
they are not from your same culture, and we tend to be shy about it. So again, I would say like don't be shy, take this as an opportunity, explore and know people from different cultures and learn from their experience as well, I would say. And yeah, talking about rejection, I already talked about it. Like stay around good people, talk to your best friends. So Sharvari, she is actually a very good friend of mine. So I used to talk to her as well as a lot when I used to go to tough times. And so yeah, be around good friends, talk to different people, and just let your emotion flow at one point.
Hmm. Definitely. All right. We'll do a few more questions and wrap up. I know it's
Sure.
getting late on the other side of the world, but Akash asked, how much of an impact does personal website have, and which technologies could be learned to create one to get best job opportunities? Ooh, great question.
Okay, so when you talk about a personal website, I assume that it's a portfolio which you build, the portfolio which would have most of your experience and um, all different perspectives. So talking about portfolio, trust me, I myself, I'm still working on a very good portfolio. I'm still in the process. I don't have my portfolio live out there. I'm still taking time to build something. And as on weekends I get time, I work on it. So talking about portfolio, it's important, but it's another medium of showcasing your work. So there are several other mediums to do the same thing. Like um, if you have a portfolio, obviously it's good, but if you don't have it, the only good point of a portfolio is you can have all your projects or all your work at one place. If you don't have a portfolio, if you're sending a resume, along with that, just send the link to your projects. Even that is a substitute at one point. So I
Great.
hope that answers the question.
Hmm. And you did ITM/MIS, right? For your
Yes,
major?
it's information systems at Northeastern because that
Okay.
is how it is called, and it's more of a technical based or technical oriented course.
All right. So we got a question for that then. Um, Ikshaku says, can we do more technical courses while in MIS? Like, would it be more management? What's the balance of tech and management with these IT and MIS courses in America?
Yes. Okay. So again, talking about MIS or IS, it's very specific to different universities. Like different universities have different curriculum plan, and at some universities it is more of a management based. At some universities it is a balance. While at some universities like mine, Northeastern, it's IS and it's more of a technical based. So our course is heavy technical oriented. I believe like we have just one or two subjects which are on the business side or management side.
Yeah, I think every college in America is different, but you can
Yep,
easily go on the website, pull up
exactly.
the curriculum. I know UT Dallas, they have like many different tracks. You can do ITM, but you can do an analytics focus,
Yep,
an SAP ERP focus. You can do a health. You can do there's
yep.
supply. There's a lot of different focuses and specializations that will fit your interest. So research about at the college. You can easily do that on a little place called Google.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, Shankar wants, will the new H-1B policy discourage companies from hiring international students?
Well, okay, I don't think so. I'm the right person to answer this thing at this point. Maybe Rob, you could tell because you research a lot about the
Hmm.
H1B policies and I think so you know much better than me at this point. So
Yeah, well, I put out a video just the other day about the new proposal that was put out again for H-1B. It's, most of it isn't official yet. It's in the 60-day kind of review period. If it does become official, a lot of the stuff will then be enacted and become a rule in early December. So not totally worth freaking out about yet. More about if it becomes official later on. I think there will be challenges or revisions possibly. Some of the things are good because it's preventing fraud and fake visas and kind of cheating, which the system gets abused by. Um, and so I'm all for legal immigration, and love the people that come to America legally, and everyone benefits from that. And so I think the biggest impact will be the high salary, the minimum levels that are being increased for
yeah,
H-1B, which might discourage companies not being able to afford those kind of talent, that kind of work. So that's, I think, the biggest implication is either companies not being able to afford or we're having to reduce the number of H-1Bs they hire. Or so yeah, I'm not sure. Again, because things aren't official yet, it's still gray. So we'll find out in the next month or two. But my encouragement is don't make plans or decisions based on fear. Make plans and decisions based on facts.
yeah,
And so in the H-1B video I made, you can actually go read the whole proposal. And again, talk to immigration lawyers because they're the experts way more than me. Talk to the colleges and the international student offices. They're the ones that are going to be really to help you guide those things. So talk to the experts and do your own research, read, study. Just don't take what people say as all the facts because I know I'm not an expert on this stuff. So do your own research and get confident because if you want to come to America and study, you have to know this stuff yourself and not just depend on other people to kind of regurgitate it for you. So
definitely.
yeah. Any other Sumit, do you see maybe one or two last questions you'd want to cover that we haven't done yet that would be interesting for you?
Um, well, I really can't find anything. If you find any good question, we can quickly cover it and end it.
Okay, here's one. Would you feel like sharing about this at all? Your profile? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Sure, I really don't mind it.
Okay.
My GRE score was 306. It's really not a great score. My TOEFL was 104, I believe. Yeah, and my GPA was in the range of 7.8 out of 10. So I have a pretty average profile, I would say. And I had like 2 years of experience as a developer back in India. Yeah, so and okay, talking about universities, I had applied for maybe 5 to 6 universities. I choose Northeastern because of the location, the curriculum, and I did a lot of research about the um, opportunities at Northeastern, and I also loved their co-op program. So that was my reason to choose Northeastern, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Aditya ask, will OPT be impacted by the new H-1B policy? No, OPT is F-1 visa. It's separate. It's different than H-1B. If you want to transition from OPT to H-1B someday, that'll be impacted, but OPT is different than H-1B. So you don't have to worry about that. Here's a good techie question. What do you think about Omkar's question?
Okay. Well, this is like one of those funny questions or memes that we usually get on LinkedIn. Like
Mm-hmm.
recruiters put post job stating that junior developer, and the requirement is like 5 years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really funny how some people take it. But yeah, a junior developer, um, it should have like no experience till 2 years of experience. That is uh, like I would say an experience expectation from a junior developer. And talking about software developer, it could be quite open. Like it's a very general term, I would say. And yeah, so software developers, it could be like someone having no experience or someone might have even 5 years of experience they are looking for. So yeah, that I hope that answers the question.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Um, Someone asked if it's tough to get into FANG if you're a fresher. Um,
Not really. Not really. Trust me, if you're a fresher and you're good, you have zero experience, but you have that thing, like I would say, that coding niche, like you know things and know how to write good code, you are that person. Trust me, it is made for you at that point. So,
mhm,
and I would say like make it a point to apply for these fangs during the internship itself because that is your chance. It's easy to crack during internship as compared to full time. So just do it during the internship time. Don't waste your time
mhm.
and make it a point to like put efforts during your internship time.
Yeah, and these companies, they're big, so they hire tons of interns.
Yeah, they
So the best
do.
way is to get an internship. And along that, Sumit, he asks, I've been told that it's possible to apply for placements and go to career fairs. Yeah, usually those first
Yeah,
in the first month or two, there's career fairs, and I've made a video just recently about virtual job fairs and career fairs, how to prepare and execute those really well. One of the best things you can do is apply to jobs before the career fair, even if you're a brand new student,
exactly.
because then you can show the recruiter. It's all about standing out. In America, everything is about standing out. You can
Exactly.
show the recruiter, hey, I've applied to this job, versus walking up and saying, hey, what do you have available? And so
True.
when you've made that initiative and effort and the research and the hard work, you're going to stand out amongst all the competition. And you can easily get an internship your first semester. It is very possible if you do it the right way.
That's so true. I can give you my example. Um, so I came in fall 18 over here, and for Northeastern they have two career fairs, like one in fall and one in spring. So as soon as I landed and I started with my semester, I heard about the career fair already coming about, and me and my friends we took it as an opportunity to learn, like
And get
how
practiced.
exactly. Yeah, like you just get an opportunity to talk to people from different organization, show them your resumes, get it overviewed, what it is lacking, and maybe in the next career fair, you can just portray yourself with that different personality. You would have an updated good resume, you would have a good cover letter, and you would have that experience. You won't be shy. You would have that elevator pitch set up already. So just make it a point to attend them, even if you have just landed in United States. Make it a point just to go and take it as an experience, the first one.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Sorry if we didn't get to everyone's questions. Sumit, this has been amazing. Again, in the chat, I put the link. If you guys sign up for the Chai and Coaching newsletter next week, we'll send out all the resources that Sumit shared about, a PDF and links, and give those to you guys as a treat for coming to the live today. So thanks so much. Thank you guys. An application for you. So if you guys are here, your application point to apply something that Sumit talked about is go to LinkedIn today and post about this session, something you learned. Tag Sumit,
Sure.
tell him thanks, use the hashtag DreamJob, and then that way we can find each other and then you guys can connect with each other as well. So use the hashtag DreamJob in your LinkedIn post, tag Sumit, tell him thanks, give 1 or 2 points you guys learned, again, and practice posting on LinkedIn. That's going to build your brand, help you get reach and impressions with connectors. Use the hashtag DreamJob. Then you guys can connect with each other who all attended and build your network and supporting each
Definitely,
other
you
in our
could
journeys.
just, if it would be great if you could just send a request and write a short note like, "Hey, I attend your session with Rob."
Yeah.
That
Don't
in
send
that way, I
don't
would get
send
to know you.
don't send a connection request without a note. Always add a note. It's
Yeah,
lazy.
always add a note. Make it a
Just
point to
say,
always add a note.
yeah, just say, Sumit, Rob, I attended your guys' session, loved it, and will gladly accept you. So always
Definitely.
send the request note. Sumit, anything you want to? I just want to say thank you to you. This has been incredible. Thanks for giving up, and you've worked so hard to prep this week. You started a new job. You're hanging out. Thanks for investing
Yeah,
back in the community. And so many people are going to be way better off. And I can't wait to hear the success stories in the coming months of the people that got jobs because they heard this session from you, buddy. So it's going to be
I would
awesome.
love to hear that. Trust me, if people could take at least like 5% from this webinar, it would be a pleasure for me. Like, I have been through that struggle, so I know how tough it is and how exhausting it is. So I would love to hear such news from different people. And
Awesome.
also one more thing, don't feel shy to like drop me a message. I would be usually I reply back to people on LinkedIn on weekends, so don't feel shy. Just drop me a message. I would try to reply you as soon as possible. And if you need any help, I would be there to anyone.
Awesome. Great. Well, this is going to be recorded on the YouTube channel. So if you guys have a friend who missed this, but it would be helpful, please share it with them. We want other people to get benefited. Thanks
Hmm.
for joining us at Chai and Coaching. This has been so much fun. We've got more great videos coming out later this week about machine learning and studying abroad in Ireland, if you guys are interested in those kind of things. And Sumit, thanks again. I've loved getting to work with you, buddy. And best of luck with your new
Thank you
journey at
so much.
MathWorks.
Thank
So
you so much,
blessings
Rob.
to you, buddy.
Thank you so much. Bye
All
bye.
right, everyone. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cheers. We'll see you next time at Chai and
Cheers.
Coaching.